All right, guys, I'm super excited. I'm so grateful that you guys showed up tonight. I got two amazing people actually that are friends, mentors, like a family to me. And I'm just so grateful to you both, Tanya and Alyson, for number one, introducing me to these amazing products, and number two, teaching me how to do the business. And that's been a blessing to me. And let me just hit mute. If you could mute yourself. Let me get these things muted. Sorry, guys. So there we go. All right, everybody seems muted. So basically, I wanted to bring you ladies on tonight to pour into us, tell us about how you started, and I'm just super grateful. You know, we all three have a very similar story, right? We were not looking for a business. We came in because we wanted to try the products. And I think that's a lot of the mindset that a lot of us have when we're promoters are like, oh, you're going to love the business. You should start this as a business. So one of the things that I wanted to talk to you guys about is how we actually started, each of us. And, you know, Tanya and I have been friends for literally 2 decades or more. And the same with Alyson, right? Alyson and I have been friends in different circles for 2 decades, and we were just friends, and they were sharing with me what they loved about the products. And that's what I really wanted to get to, back to the beginning, where Tanya started first. Tanya's at 200K with the company. Alyson started second, and then I came on board after them. So I wanted to go back. There's a lot of people on this team that maybe haven't heard their full stories, and I just love to hear them too. So Tanya, if you wouldn't mind, I'd love for you to share where you were when you first heard about Thrive, and then we can go from there.
Yeah, I remember it just like yesterday, to be honest with you. You know, I'm a mom. I've got 4 kids and work in healthcare. I am a sonographer where I was doing, you know, cardiac, thoracic, vascular ultrasounds for 20 years, same place, same hospital. And just, you know, going through the daily grind, really didn't know anything different. You know, living on coffee, didn't sleep great, had, you know, interrupted sleep constantly, partly because for the last, you know, the 20 years, we had to take call at the hospital. So we didn't have an overnight shift. So I always was fearful, even if I wasn't on call, the phone was going to ring. It was just, you know, it was just life. You know, I wasn't looking for anything. I thought, well, this is what happens when you're juggling, you know, working full time, the kids, and having huge responsibility at my job. I was also in the management role there for that department that I was working. So then you add all that on too. So, you know, and I got this random message from an acquaintance on Facebook. I can't even say that we were friends because we didn't really know each other. We knew of each other through another person. Gotta love the beauty of Facebook and social media, because that's really how I came on, is because I had a message in my inbox. You know, I listened to what Maria Dillard had to say. It was basically wishing me a happy birthday and asking me if I ever heard of the Thrive experience, that our stories kind of related, our life related a little bit, because she also had 4 kids. She also had twins. And so there was a commonality there, I believe. And so I remember just saying, no, I've never heard of this. I don't even know what this is. I think we were driving over to the west coast of Florida to spend the weekend for my birthday, and really didn't think anything of it other than, okay, well, I've got an hour-and-a-half drive. I might as well see kind of what this is about. And that's where it kind of stopped. I asked a few questions, and then that was it. And 6 months had gone by before I actually placed my first order. Came into this company as a customer, not looking for a business opportunity at all. But after that time that she initially reached out, in the 6 months, I was really like kind of stalking behind the scenes. And really my life was getting more miserable because we were coming into the holidays, and you know how that goes, right? You don't have enough sleep, you don't have enough energy, and you darn sure don't have enough money to get you through the holidays with 4 kids. So there's that added stress. And I just remember like, okay, what do I have to lose? I'm going to call her and place this order. And I really believe she was shocked because it was out of the blue. She didn't see it coming because she had already reached out several times. I probably have 21 reach outs. So if you're on here and you think that 1 or 2 reach outs is enough, to tell you it's not, because it was 21 reach outs. They weren't reach outs, do you want to thrive with me constantly? But there were specials being offered, you know, things just keeping me up to date, if you will. And I think that's what kept it fresh in my mind, right? Because there were those little reach outs and how are you doing? And what did you do for your birthday? And like, you know, by the way, you might not be ready, but there's a BOGO going on right now, right? There was all these little connections that she was making with me, which caused me to see more of her Facebook, which caused me to have more FOMO because I was like, darn, maybe I need to do this. And that's what happened January 6th of 2016. I came in as a customer. Obviously, all of you know how amazing the products are, your promoters. So you know that once you get this in your body, it kind of goes to work. And day 4 was the day I hit the promoter button, Jayson. And here we are 7 years later. You know, I didn't think this was an opportunity for me. I didn't even think that I would even entertain the business, but honestly, I felt so good. I was already sharing it and it was a really no-brainer. When I opened my eyes to the opportunity, I was like, I would be really silly and dumb not to hit the promoter button, because look at the opportunity that's on the table. I didn't know how I was going to do it. I didn't know how I was going to work it into 60, 70 hours a week and on call and all the things. I mean, all those doubts go through your head, but I was like, I mean, I've done harder things, right? I have twins. I got 4 kids. I'm doing hard life right now. Let's just keep going. And maybe this is an answer to some prayers that I didn't ask for per se, I didn't know. And then I thought, well, I'll just use these weekly paychecks that she keeps talking about and these bonuses to pay off Christmas, because it was January. And now the credit card bills come in. And now you're like, did I really spend that much on my kids? Did I really overdo it? And so that was my initial goal. And it just kind of went from there. So do you want me to stop?
Yeah, so I love that. And I love you kind of just glossed over that Maria is the person that signed you up. And, you know, Maria Dillard she needs no introduction within the company. She's, you know, got a humongous team, but what she did is textbook what she taught us to do, and that's follow up, right? So she followed up with you numerous times, just checking in, seeing how you're doing. And that's why I think our team is so successful, Tanya, is because we were taught by the best, right? Maria Dillard is one of the greatest network marketers ever to walk the face of the earth. And we duplicated what she taught us to do. And I think that goes to say a lot about our team in particular, is that we just copied and did exactly what we were shown, what works. And that's the formula, right? You copied Maria Dillard, you put her principles into place, and we repeat them over and over and over. So I love that you said that. So Alyson, you've got a much different story. I know a little bit about your story, that you were actually offered Thrive prior to signing up with Tanya, and you were poo-pooing it, the idea, because you are a physician's assistant. So if anybody doesn't know, Alyson Ruest is a physician's assistant. She's got a huge medical background, and she looked at this and said, nah, it's not for me. But I'm not going to tell the story. Alyson, why don't you go ahead, unmute yourself and tell us a little bit how you figured it out finally to start.
I love how you say you know a little bit about my story. You know my whole story. You can say it verbatim. But that's how it goes, you guys. I mean, you should say your story so many times that everybody around you should know your story. So yeah, a little bit about me for the people that don't know me. Like you said, I am a PA. Hi, Tracy. I've been practicing now for 17 years, and I'm more in the world of functional medicine, integrated medicine. If you guys aren't familiar with what that is, it's more nutrition. It's balancing the body. We do a lot of hormones. We do IV vitamins. So I already thought I knew everything and had the best of the best as far as nutrition goes. And it's got to be like 8 years ago now that one of the patients, she's top of the company now, she came in and she had these 3 steps, and she told me all about it, and it balanced the body and what it did. And it was in one ear, out the other. Honestly, you guys, she even gave me a sample pack and I threw it in the trash because I did not believe anything she said. I did not think that this 3-step system was going to be superior to what we were already doing in my practice, what I was taking in my practice. I was very, very skeptical. My practitioner ego was definitely in the way. So, and honestly, you guys, I was at that time, I was taking hormones. I tell everybody, I honestly had about 20 prescription supplements that I was taking, and I was doing IV vitamins weekly. But on the side, nobody really knew how awful I felt, but I really wasn't feeling great. I was exhausted. Probably at the time, no lie, drinking 5 cups of coffee a day. They used to joke because they would have a cup of coffee on my desk when I got to work and after lunch because they knew I needed it. A lot of discomforts. I was getting epidurals at the time with herniated discs. I was not sleeping great. I always tell everyone I was the monster mom, napping on the weekends with the kids in front of the iPads. I know some of you guys know that drill, which was, it was discouraging. So I tried, I don't know why I was such a skeptic of Thrive, but I tried everything else out there. Prescription, non-prescription, other companies, other products, and nothing worked. And you guys at the time too, and it's always been the case, very, very healthy, exercising 6 days a week. I've always been gluten-free, dairy-free, sugar-free. And I just was discouraged because nothing was working for me. So honestly, I thought that this was it. This is it. I'm getting older. I have kids, and I guess this is how life is going to be. And on the side, I was watching Tanya because I had already been introduced to Thrive, and I saw her now starting Thrive. And you guys, that's the power of sharing. It was already in my ear. And that's going back to that. The person that originally gave me the sample never got my email or a free account, which I know she's regretting now. But I was watching Tanya, and you guys, and this is no joke, I was like, there's no way. She's lying. She's pretending. Social media is fake. So I kept watching, and she had young twins at the time. And she was just loving life and enjoying life. So I was like, okay, all right, there's got to be something to it. And then finally I was like, what do I have to lose? I mean, honestly, I've tried everything else out there. I mean, so it was almost out of desperation that I reached out to her, but it was more to prove everybody wrong, saying like, this does not work. So I reached out. I think it was on a double triple too that I reached out, and I was still being skeptical. She'll tell you. I was like, I can only piecemeal. I can't do this part. I really gave her a hard time, but I finally tried the full 3 steps, and it was a game over. 6 years ago now, probably more. And just like Jayson said, when we started, we didn't have the intention of promoting this. Again, my practitioner ego was in the way. I'm too good for promoting a product. I actually, in the past, I had tried other companies and I bombed. I was terrible. I think I made with another company like $60 in a year. So I was like, this is just not for me. So I would hide the DFT so nobody could see it. And when I think it was day 5 when it really hit me. And I understood the expectations. I understand detox. So I knew that it wasn't going to hit me right away. But day 5, I was like, holy cow, this is going to be life-changing for me, which it was. I mean, the coffee, as you guys know, was gone. The discomforts had calmed. Sleep was amazing. I was having I think it was day 5. The time where I was napping with the kids and we didn't do anything fun. I just said, all right, guys, let's just go to the rodeo, like out of nowhere. It's like, okay, now I know this is going to be life-changing for me and the boys. So I mean, when I knew what it was doing for me, I started telling other people. I still did not want to promote. Tanya kept putting it in my ear. She was like, first, you can Thrive for free. So it was like, okay, I've got a couple people that I know. And then finally she put in my ear, well, if you're thriving for free, you're already telling people, you might as well start making money off of it. And you guys, I got into medicine for a reason, right? I want to help people. I want people to feel better. So when I saw what it was doing for me, I knew that I couldn't keep it a secret. I knew that I needed to tell people about it. So that is when I finally did hit the promoter button. I had my people lined up to already hit the bonus. Tanya will attest to that, because I'm a planner, but you know, and it's been game over ever since. And I know you're probably going to ask more questions later about us and the promoting, you know, our whole journey, but it's just been unbelievable.
Yeah, I love that. So you started for the products, I started for the products, Tanya started for the products. So I want you guys to understand, a lot of people aren't looking, like Jason Camper says, they don't wake up and go, I want to start a network marketing business. The products sell themselves. Once they get them, you get them in your body, right? So I wanted to say something about you two. So it was literally almost 5 years ago, July the 4th, 2018 is when I started. And the reason why I started was just exactly what you said. I started to see Thrive, and I started seeing different people talking about it. But what really stopped the scroll for me was you and Tanya on a Facebook Live, and I heard the word, "This gives us energy." And I was like, I literally had a Mountain Dew in my hand and I was chugging it because I was so damn tired. So guys, sharing your story on a live video by interviewing somebody on your team or somebody else that's not on your team, it's a game changer. So if you're not doing that, that's how they got me, right? So I always go back to that. I love the stories, the benefits of what they do. So Tanya, let's riff off of that. So when you first started, how I know you're at 200K now, and I know your story, but why don't you tell us a little bit about how you hit your first rank and kind of go from there.
Yeah. So, you know, once I just said, you know, I'm going to do this, it was putting people on Thrive. I didn't overthink it. It was my plate was super full. There was no time to get on the phone with people, like, you know, spending 45 minutes talking to people. It was connect. And when I say that, I was connecting every single person that said, what's that sticker? I want it. Questions. Oh my goodness. You have to talk to my friend Maria. And literally, you guys, that is what I did. I remember being at work because we weren't allowed to have our phones in the hospital, like on your break. But I would just, in between patients, I would just say, open a group chat, and I'd say, hey, Maria, my girlfriend, you know, Alyson has some questions. Would you mind sharing your story and help answer those? Alyson, Maria is the one that got me started. She knows so much more, pick her brain, and, you know, I'm scanning patients, you know, and I'll follow back around or whatever. And we did that so many times. You guys, I remember being in work on break, in like my 15-minute break, in the break room, kind of in the corner. And I had someone that wanted to know what the packages were. I didn't even know what the price was really. I was like, because, you know, 150, I don't know, like, can you do this and can you do that? I was like, hold on a second. I gave her my phone and put Maria on the phone and went back to work. So like, that is how
And Tanya, I just want to add really quick, those were the days where we didn't have Messenger. It was a lot more difficult back then because it was three-way calls.
Yeah.
We didn't have Messenger.
I would be like, hold on, she can answer that. Hold on, she can answer that. And I did this over and over. And I quickly, within the first, you know, that first goal was the VIP 800. We also have the 400 now. That was not in place when I started. And I got that, like, okay, the putting people on Thrive. How do you want to thrive? Do you want to thrive with me as a customer? Do you want to thrive with me as a promoter? Maria beat that in my head from day one. Don't decide how much someone wants to thrive with you. She didn't decide for me. She said, Tanya, you can thrive as a customer, you can thrive as a promoter. I stopped in her tracks and said, it's customer, right? Well, I did that with my friends or people that were asking, you know, these are the two options. Once they want to thrive with you, it's, do you want to come in as a customer? Do you want to come in as a promoter? Here are the differences. We all know the differences are there is really no difference, right? You're going to get some promoter pricing. You're going to earn some commissions and on those referrals, right? And be eligible for all the amazing perks. But I presented that. We did that over and over, hit those VIP 800 goals. I did not hit VIP 1600. If you're on here and you didn't hit it, it's okay. I missed it by like one thing, one promoter, I believe it was. And then I rolled right up to the 4K in the 30 days and got the iPad mini bonus, which is Maui Gym now glasses. It was an iPad mini bonus. And you know, that was all in 30 days. Guys, I had no time. So when you're saying to yourself, like, how do you do this at the beginning, or how do you make time? Literally, you have an amazing support system of someone that's been doing this longer, that is really going to be holding your hands for those first 30 days. Like, I didn't have time to learn anything. And in fact, Mari said, the road has been paved. You don't need to know anything. Do you know how to do a third-party three-way call? Because that's what it was. I don't even know if I even knew how to do that. I was like, okay, yeah, add, merge, yeah, bam, okay, got that, right? And that's what we did over and over. I didn't know the ingredients, although I do work in medicine, and you know, like I knew some of those ingredients, but who cares that you don't know the 100+ vitamins and minerals and everything and how they do, right? I don't know, girl, you got to get this in your body because within 4 days, I'm never going back to the way I feel. I can't believe I feel this good, right? And people were like, okay, all right. If anyone wants to know all that stuff, because we tell ourselves that people want to know all that stuff, right? But they really don't. They want to know, how can you help me get out of bed in the morning? How can you help me alleviate some discomfort in my body, right? How can you help me lose some weight? They don't care that there's 5-HTP and there's these vitamin Bs, and that's great information. And for the science gurus out there, we have people that, you know, like Alyson, that can tell you every single thing in the body is how it works. And I've been doing this for so long, so I could, you know, do it, but not as well as her, you know, but I could do it. But that bottom line is, don't that's what we did. We ran to 4K right away. Thrivapalooza was rolling up in my first 30 days in this company. We went to Thrivapalooza. If you're not going to Thrivapalooza, you should be. Came back and hit 12K, and then it soared from there. So that's what we were doing early on. We were connecting. I never closed. You guys, to this day, I do not close my own customers and promoters. I still connect. And if they happen to order without me or whatever, I still put them in a chat and say, oh my goodness, Mari, this is my new friend, blah, 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 that just ordered. Would you mind sharing her experience? I want this person that starts with me to lock arms with me, to know that we have a support system like no other. They're never going to be alone if they've got a question. And the only way I'm going to be able to convey that is to show them this is how you do it. So that's what we did.
I love that. And that leads me to the next question that I want to talk to Alyson about. Is Tanya did not act like the expert because, one, she really didn't know all the things, and she utilized Margaret Dillard as the expert. She used her as the third-party validation, and that's the best way. That's how I grew very fast. I used Tanya and Alyson used Tanya. So with that being said, Alyson is an expert in medicine, and sometimes it's got to be really hard for her to not puke and say everything, but she uses that third-party validation because she was taught the simple system by Tanya and Maria Dillard that you don't need to be the expert. Literally, guys, your job as a new promoter or a promoter is to connect your network to your upline and edify them and make them, you know, the expert. So Alyson, why don't you talk about that? Because I know you sometimes are like, oh my God, I know all this information, but I'm gonna pass it.
Well, I like what Tanya said, because in the beginning, I didn't have time. I was full-time PA and I did not want to promote. And she was like, that's when she said, you've already referred 2 people, you might as well. And she was like, I'm going to hold your hand and we're just going to run. And I think the biggest thing for me, and this is how I learned not to be the expert with my people in particular, the people I was bringing in, is I was just excited. I was excited for the first time in a long time. And I think that's what our job as new promoters is. I mean, energy is contagious, right, you guys? And I always bring this up. Like if somebody, it could be something so silly, like a little gadget, but if this person is so excited about it, you better believe that I'm going to buy it or try it, right? So that's what our job is not to explain the product, not to like go into detail, just tell them what it's done for you and get them excited. And I think too, that's how we grew so fast, is everybody around us saw how good we felt, how excited we were, how fast our businesses were growing. So the next person started to get excited, and then the next person started to get excited. But, you know, yes, it is difficult for me, and I will be the expert for like validation, absolutely. But I think what a lot of people don't realize, why it's so important when you're building a business, why you should not be the expert, is you're trying to get other people to do what you're doing. So if you're the expert, then everybody below you, and I'll be honest, that's why I was hesitant to become a promoter, is I would watch all these top leaders, and I mean, it's no secret that I don't like to be in the spotlight. I looked at them and said, I couldn't do what they're doing. I just could never do that. So I shied away from promoting because of that reason. And the same goes for just trying to be the expert. Somebody's looking at you promoting and you're the expert and you know everything, and you know everything about the product. They're like, I'm not going to be able to do what she's doing. So if all you say is, I don't, and this is, you guys, this is exactly what Jayson did. And he grew very fast doing this. I have no idea what this product is. I just feel amazing. You got to talk to my friends. Honest to God, that's what he did over and over and over again. And he grew so fast because of that. And because other people are like, that's all he did. I mean, the other people did the work for him. He just connected me to other people. I can do that. And look, I mean, look what he's doing. He's hitting bonuses like crazy, and car bonus within how many days? It was like a record. So that, you guys, is the main reason why, even if you know so much about the product, just share your story and excitement and what it's doing for you.
I think
Can I say something really quick on that?
Yeah, please.
Not to interrupt, but you know, if your business, I feel like it's not growing, you got to get someone on Thrive, like, because the story that's going to happen, the excitement, because the first time, like, you know, when I got my first Thriver and they called me like, oh my God, I had the best night's sleep. And then my daughter's kindergarten teacher called me crying. I thought something was terribly wrong. She's like, I haven't had this, like, she has insomnia for 10 years. And she's like, if I get nothing from this product, then sleep, I'll be a lifer. And she's the one that just messaged me right before the Zoom, Jayson. I said that someone wants to come. Her Thrive is not there yet. She ordered it kind of late. She wants to meet me tomorrow to get Thrive. That's why I always have a plethora of Thrive in my house, because I feel like I'm the Thrive dealer here. But get people on Thrive. Don't overthink it. So many people hit the promoter button and stand still because I don't know everything. And I have to have a story first. And I have to have this. Well, guess what? You have a 10-year company that has over how many customers? I mean, millions of customers, 100,000s of promoters that have stories that will resonate with your friend. Somebody said to me today that she wanted to wait till she lost weight to tell anybody. And I said, if I was waiting, if that was the case for me, I never would have started, because I didn't start Thrive to lose weight. I needed some energy. I needed to get out of the mom funk. So just because it's what you want doesn't mean your circle needs that, right? I mean, to be honest. So I just feel like so many people sit on the sideline and wait and wait and wait. And it's like, what are you waiting for? Like there's a fan page with thousands of stories, right? There's a team of 7 years now that we have so many different stories that you could pull from. My advice is don't wait. Get this in people's body and the excitement from their story, because it started with my story and I was pretty excited about it, but there's nothing like when Alyson came on board and she was having an amazing experience, because this is someone that I was not very hopeful that was going to stay, because she had all access to all her meds, right? Like all her prescription. I was like, I don't know, this is going to be hard. But when she was so excited, that got me excited. I was like, oh my God, like then Jayson. So I don't know, I can get super, super passionate about this topic.
So I love that you said that. And, you know, Tanya approached me 2.5 years before I signed up, and she did exactly what she was supposed to do. And I loved her for it, she said, oh, it's not for you. Okay, no problem. But she'd always check back with me. And one thing that I've said, and I don't know if you guys have heard this, is I was looking for a job at one point, and I actually posted on Facebook, like, anybody know of any jobs out there? I'm looking for a job. And Tanya saw that post, went in my inbox and said, why don't you start working with me? And I was like, I need a real job, girl. I don't want to do that. Like, no way. So, but the reason why I started though was the third party validation, because now Alyson was doing it too. So I was like, Alyson loves it. She's a PA. Tanya's been loving it. All right, I got to check this stuff out. So that third party validation is amazing. So Alyson, let's go back to you. So when you first started, I know you guys taught me, let's put a curiosity post up. Let's, go live. Let's get your story out there. Like, listen, I had a crazy story because I love the energy and I was very active on social media. What did you do right off the bat, Alyson?
The same. I mean, honestly, again, like I mentioned earlier, I got people excited and then people saw it. And when I started getting excited and hit that promoter button, I started wearing the DFT where people would see it. So people would ask what the heck that was, because honestly, it's a walking advertisement, right? But yes, the post, the curiosity. And if you guys don't know what the curiosity post is, you don't want to spit out Thrive. Us veterans probably say Thrive a lot because everybody knows what we do. But the last thing you want is to say, come thrive with me, or I just started Thrive. You want to do a post with your DFT and what it's done for you and not say what it is, because you want people instead, because I know for me, and I do this all the time, somebody's advertising something or they do a post about something and everyone's loving it. I go and just order it myself. I just kind of like find it myself, and that's what's going to happen to you. You want people to reach out to you and say, what is it? What are you doing? Like, what's this new thing? So that's why we do the curiosity. But yeah, I did the curiosity post and I just talked to everybody around me. I mean, I would listen. I would listen to other people and hear, I'm exhausted. I had my third cup of coffee today. I'm like, oh my gosh, I used to do that. You have to try this. And I think that's what it was in the beginning. And, you guys, it's so important that people trust you. And that's why, if you don't have a big network already, you are authentic on Facebook, because you want people, like we always say, know, like, and trust you, right? Because when they do, then they're going to trust what you're saying about this product and they're going to want to try it. And then that's what was going on with my network. They're like, okay, just like you said, Jayson, you're like, Tanya and Alyson liked it. I know them very well. And if they both like it, then I'm going to try it. So I think that is key. And just talking to everyone. I mean, I wasn't embarrassed, and I know, Jay, you weren't either. Just talking to everyone about what this product was doing. And it was story driven for me. You guys, I didn't go and say, this has got this, minerals. But I mean, it was just like, oh my gosh, you guys, this has been life-changing for me.
Love that. So we all know right now, everyone's on here. If you're not a promoter yet and you're kind of just jumping on here to find out, get back to the person that shared this video with you, right? And get some more information, because it is an amazing opportunity. But if you are a promoter, you know that we are in the rank advancement bonus time. And I remember a few years ago when I went 80K, Alyson went 80K, and Tanya went 200K, and we got some amazing life-changing bonuses. And the excitement that we had, that we were all three running for these amazing bonuses, but we were helping other people hit 12K, hit 40K, hit 4K. Like, there was so much excitement. And I think that excitement breeds excitement. So if you are having some small wins on your team, VIP 400, VIP 800, VIP 1600, 4K, 12K, shout that stuff out. And we utilize stories a lot too. So we're giving you all kinds of tips, but what really sold it for me, guys, Thrive Palooza. And I remember that very first one that I went, Alyson, Tanya, we had just hit that rank advancement bonus. We got to walk the stage with those huge checks, and it was just so amazing. talk to the people, Tanya, a little bit about Thrivepalooza. And actually, Tanya is speaking at Thrivepalooza this year. So super excited about that. That's such an honor. And I can't wait to hear you on stage. But go ahead and tell the story about you went to Thrivepalooza in your first month of even being a promoter.
Yeah, so I didn't know what Thrivepalooza, it wasn't called Thrivepalooza. It was convention, I believe, but regardless, Maria said, okay, so you're going, right? And, you know, I mean, she believed in me before I believed in myself. Let's be honest. And as promoters, we believe in our promoters before they believe in it. You guys, I had 200 friends on social media, didn't even post on Facebook. It was very random. It was 2016. I was trying to get through life. I was not on social media. I wasn't doing anything. I mean, I don't even know what social media was like back in 2016. I can't really remember, but literally bottom line is I didn't have a presence. So if you're thinking I don't have a network, I had no Instagram at that time. I had 200 friends. And just really started to grow organically. I did not sail to the top, you guys, I did not. But what I've done is be consistent. That's it, through the good, the bad, the ugly. I mean, that's it, you know, slow and steady. So she said, you're going to Thrivepalooza. I was like, I don't even know what that is. Like, I'm too brand new to go. Well, that was the best decision that I made because the picture was painted very quickly when I got to see these leaders and you know, it's motivation. And you guys, you got to surround yourself with people that are going where you want to go. And at that time in my life, I was surrounded with tired, exhausted, cranky, blank nurses, like people in the healthcare. I mean, God love us, like, but we're usually very exhausted and cranky and tired. You know, I feel like it just kind of is, you know, not intentional, but my circle wasn't so positive, right? And I get into this environment and I'm going, holy moly, like all these people have cars, like all these people are 200K and like their stories and where they came from. And it wasn't one specific type of person. It was the stay-at-home moms. It was the dads. It was the corporate. It was the medical professionals. It was the doctors, the therapists, like all these different people were like all walks of life. And it really just opened that picture. It was like, wow, okay, if they can do it, with all what they've been through or have on their plate, like everyone has something. We all have something happen to us or go through or hard seasons. And, you know, if you go to Thrivepalooza, you'll hear some of these stories and you're going, holy moly. You know, we had a leader on last couple of weeks and I mean, she lost her husband, you know, at 25 years old, you know, he passed away. Like, you know, so I just think that it painted the picture of possibility. I was ignorance on fire. I came back and it was like, you know what? I really wasn't questioning if this is where I wanted to be, but if there was a little doubt, that closed it. Like it sealed the deal for me going there because it was just, there is nothing that, I could even probably describe to you of how powerful it is when you get surrounded by 20,000 plus thrivers and the energy is unlike anything. And I knew going forward, I wanted to be around those people. I wanted to be around that energy because that breeds excitement. And if they can do it, there's always going to be someone above you, right? Someone's gone before you and you get to see that. And if you just stay the course, you're going to be there. And that is what it did for me. And it's indescribable, honestly.
Yeah, I love that. And I'm the same way. I love to be around other thrivers and you get to see a lot of these people once you start promoting and you're plugging into the trainings and you're, you know, seeing the top leaders all there and they're actually real people. And I love to see all walks of life and everything. So Alyson,
and
I
really,
know
and just
look,
piggybacking on that really quick, just
yeah.
the community. I think some people, we've had people just promote because of the community. I mean, a lot of people don't have that outside of this. And I mean, it's a tight knit group and just all people that are have the same goal as you. And honestly, you don't realize it until you go on these trips or Thrivepalooza that I like the love that's there and just like the people and the conversations. I mean, that in itself, besides the, you know, the cars and the money and whatever, the products, I mean, that in itself speaks for itself.
For sure. So let's get into some hard stuff. So we were all growing exponentially. Everything's going great. You know, you and I are on our way to 200K and then boom, we lose a leg. I lost a leg, you lost a leg, like people that were really working in the business. How do you get over when somebody on your team that you think is never gonna leave leaves, and like, how do you rebuild from there? Like, let's start with you, Alyson.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's usually a kick in the gut when that happens. But it's proof to all of us that you have to be consistent. You have to keep going no matter what. You have to keep building and keep bringing new people in. You have to understand that not everybody wants what you want. And I think one of the biggest things is, and this just goes with life, like every day when you're talking about thrive, it should be, who can I help today, instead of who's going to help me today. And I think the biggest thing with losing legs and wondering how you're going to get new people in is your motives. Are you really in this to help other people, or you just want to hit those ranks? And I think when my mindset sometimes, I mean, you guys were all human. It's like, okay, I got to get to this rank. This is all about me, 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 me. Things happen and people feel that. But I think what happens when you say, how many people can I help hit 4K, 12K, 40K, whatever, I think more people are going to stay on that train and help get you to wherever you need to go. So that's going to be and I've always been like that, but our mindset shifts, you guys, as we do this business. It always does. So I think moving forward, to try to rebuild is, who can I help today? You know, instead taking me outside of it, who can I help today? Who can I help hit rings?
Love it. Same question to you, Tanya. I know you've lost some big people on your team, and it's debilitating. How do you get through it?
Yeah, it is hard, you guys. It is. Okay. It stings, it hurts. You feel like you poured a lot into these people, but at the end of the day, everyone is going to do what they want to do, right? They have to make a decision that's best for them. And I've learned that, what does Courtney Glaser say? Bless and release. Their path is not here, then their heart would never be in it in the first place. And you have to realize that. I don't look at that. Like if someone leaves, and there has been multiple people leave on this team, and big teams have had heavy hitters leave, right? And you could either stay there and get, let it affect you and paralyze you, or you can just move on and get to the next thriver and love that person where they're at, and hold your head high and know it's not you, it's them, and whatever choice they had to make, it's for the best for their family. And I think it's with growing, it hurts the first time, because you're like, oh my God, I brought that person in, and and we ran to 40K and they're gone, but I've learned that it's not that I don't care, but I can't stay there, because there's another tired mama out there that needs this, and I got to keep going. So I'm either going to waller in that and figure, why did she leave? And oh my gosh, and just focus my energy there. That's where, you're going to stay. And that's not a happy place to be in a negative energy like that. So, you're going to say, I'm so sorry that this didn't work out, or you know what, the door's always open at Le-Vel. Okay. It's always open. And then focus where I'm needed, because I'm telling you right now, if Maria, to be honest with you, I did not tell her yes for 6 months. Do you think she closed up shop of her business? Do you think that she was like, life's over, I'm not getting that tired, exhausted, mama, I'm going to throw in the towel to this company because nobody wants this? No, she loved where I was in that season. I needed a little bit more, right? I needed to, it's 10 to 12 reach outs, I guess I was 20, but where you guys get the point, and she kept going. And because there's someone in your organization or about to be in your organization that's going to run for VIP 400. And that's what you're going to help. And you're going to get that next thriver. You're going to get that next story created. You guys, this business is built on stories. And if you do not create stories, you are not going to have a business, because no one at the end of the day cares about anything else, but other than, how are you going to help them? Or what can this product do for me? They are not saying, how can I pay her car payment, right? How can they don't even know what ranks are, right? So you have to, how you grow is go out tomorrow, tonight, and get a message out there and get someone started on, because that person, it's the power of one, could be the next that leads you to the rock star, that connects you to their cousin, brother, sister from Wyoming, that connects and says, here, my friend needs an opportunity and she's gonna love this product, right? Get someone else on Thrive. That is your goal. That is how you grow. It is not science here, you guys. It is not a special do this and do that. It's get the person on Thrive, get it in their body. You're either going to get it as a customer, get it as a promoter, but either way, they're going to experience this and they're going to pick their path. What suits them? How does that sound? Does it sound better for you to start with me as a customer, or does it start better for you to start with me as a promoter? Because the last thing anyone wants to do is feel cornered into saying she wants me to start as a promoter because she needs me to, right? I never want to feel icky like that. I always give them the option. So hope I answered that.
Yeah, perfect. So I don't want to go too much longer, but I do have some really good questions to ask, and I really want to know. So we all know how to spark interest. We got to go Facebook Live. We got to, be reaching out to our friends and family, the people that are in our inner circle, tell them our story. Once you get somebody signed up, Jayson Camper said a couple weeks ago on a Monday call, what is your formula? What do you do? So why don't you break down what do you do every single time? Because we all do it. It's duplicatable, and that's the best part. What do you do, Tanya?
What do I do when I get someone interested in Thrive?
Yeah.
Or onboarding? Or
Yeah,
either?
let's talk about the interest and the onboarding.
Right. So someone asked me about Thrive. Immediately, I get their email address. Oh my goodness, how have you been? Yeah, shoot me your email address, right? I want to get them that free customer link. I want to get them in the database. I want to get them connected, right? Because the last thing you want to do is do all this work and then you don't get the email and you don't set them up a profile. So I do that first. And then I add them right to what is Thrive, is our customer group. You guys, it's a group that's been built probably 6 years now, thousands of stories, and I try to keep it very active. I want them to go over there and be a part of that group and see and scout and look at all of what's in there, because that's really, really, I think, useful. I was added to Maria's group when I got a free customer, and I was stalking that in the Facebook fan page, right? And occasionally the Facebook fan page, I'll be honest, I've kind of gotten away from that because we have built such a great Facebook group called What is Thrive. And then I throw them in that third-party validation, right? Immediately. I don't even think twice about it. I don't ask my upline, can I put you in a chat? She knows it's like free on game, right? Like it is game. It's like connect. And I want her to hear the story. And that's the formula that I do every single day, or every time I get somebody. And then the stories have been shared, right? Where do we go from there? Okay. So what more information, Jennifer, do you need? I just can't wait for you to experience these amazing products. I can't wait for you to get these products in your body. You are going to be, by day 10, you're going to be sold, right? I start painting the picture, like what else do you need from me? Like, what else can I do or answer? And we turn it over. We close the deal, and they start thriving.
I love that. So guys, it's that simple. You got to get them interested, get their email address, add them to your team customer page, put them in that third-party validation, and marry the process, divorce the results. Do not get so upset if that person does not sign up, because most people aren't going to sign up on that first, exposure, right? So I love that. And Tanya taught me that. I know Alyson does that. That's what we try to teach the team over and over and over. If you get just one thing from this Zoom, and that's all it is get the email account, add them to your customer team page, put them in a three-way chat. That's it. That's how simple this is. And I like what you both said earlier too. Don't make it so complicated and act like you have to know everything, because literally, like Alyson said earlier, if you know everything and you're closing the deal and doing all that stuff, that person's like overwhelmed, like, I can never do what Tanya just did. Like, oh, I'm not going to do that. Right. But if it's like, oh, I really, get the email, check this page out and talk to my friend. Can you do that? Yeah, I can do that. All right, well, that's all you got to do. Like, that's all we do here. If you can do that over and over and over and over and over, that's how you're going to grow. And like Alyson mentioned, I went 12K in 20 days by, I know nothing. I love this product. It's a freaking amazing. I went live every single day, multiple times. So excitement, get the people, and then pass the baton. So
I
Allison.
want to say one more thing, Jason.
Yeah.
If you're not closing deals, most likely you're saying too much. You're vomiting on them. If you are not getting, you're vomiting on the people and they're going, holy crap. Okay, I'm so sorry I even asked about Thrive, because you just so super soaked me, as what Jason Camper uses that term, super soak. If anyone's been around, you've heard him say, don't super soak. Paul Gravett will tell you, you don't have endless amounts of time. You know how to get an order. You're like, oh my gosh, girl, hold on a second. You know what? I'm going to send you this video really quick. I've got to help Alyson order real quick. I'll be right back. You know, even if I mean, I know that's kind of a white lie.
Them to have FOMO.
But
too,
then they're going, wait,
kind of
Alyson's ordering. Wait, and it's like, hey girl, like you don't have, if you're spending 45 minutes with these people, there's your problem. You have, here's the information. You don't need to recreate what we've got in place and what the company has in place, the videos, the website, like there is everything they need. You're like, hey girl, let me show you this video. It's called, the What is Thrive, and add you to this Facebook group. I got to help my girlfriend, Alyson, place her order really quick. Give me about 30 minutes. Let me know what questions you have. You better believe if you say that to me, I'm going, what questions I have? Oh my gosh, she's helping Alyson order. Oh my God, like I'm missing the boat. Like I need this too, right? Don't spend so much time on these people that literally it's a numbers game. If you're talking to one person a day, well, your business isn't growing. You need to be talking to 50 people and you need to do it with urgency like that. So just came to my mind. I want to say that.
Yeah, one other thing I want to say too is, okay, so now we've got the person signed up, they decided they want to start. And one thing that we learned from Hannah Crest a couple of weeks ago, she tells them right off the bat, okay, with your order, you get 2 free samples. Give me 2 names of the people that you want to give the samples to. Don't even let them know that that's really not what it is. Like we want to get into the groove of getting them thriving for free right away. So what I did love a lot about when Alyson and Tanya brought me in, I knew absolutely nothing and they didn't overwhelm me. They didn't say, you're going to get a car bonus and go 40K and 80K and 200K. They literally said, like, who do you know? Put me in a 3-way chat with somebody. So put this post up, get people interested and put them in 3-way chats with us. So I did that over and over. I know Alyson and Tanya do that too. So Alyson, we do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and staying consistent is super important. What's like an onboarding process for a brand new promoter? What would you tell somebody that's never promoted before? Like, give them a post idea or something. What do you do?
Well, like I just mentioned, so more just like the posts. Honestly, like we talked about earlier, if you're brand new, curiosity is key. You just want to create that FOMO. You want people to ask what the heck. I mean, if you honestly look at what people are needing right now, everybody's tired. Everybody's living off of caffeine. Most people are stressed. Most people aren't sleeping. So if you can hit those key points in your post and being vague, you don't want to vomit, just being vague, creating FOMO, and because you want people to be curious. You want them to reach out and say, what the heck are you doing? Especially if they know, like, and trust you, right? Because if they see that, because again, they don't want to be sold. Your friends do not want to be sold. That's why our family members are the hardest to get, because they feel like they're being sold. But that's why I think it's so important for you just to be authentic. To be real, authentic, and show them what it's doing for you. Hit those key points, create that curiosity. That's usually going to be the best thing when you're initially starting. And that goes for not just posts, but that in person as well.
Yep, and I love the term that Tanya coined a long time ago is she sprinkles Thrive, right? You don't want your whole Facebook to be all Thrive. She's sprinkling Thrive through her Facebook. She's doing her 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, or 5 reach outs. Happy birthday, Alyson. What'd you do on your birthday? Like, there's so much. We don't need to get into the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, what's the percentage for Facebook? 20% Thrive and 80% personal, right? Because again, you want people to get to know you.
Yep. Just like
and
you
not
said,
just be that Thrive girl.
Nobody goes on Facebook
to Thrive person.
Nobody goes on Facebook to be sold, like you said. So, share your life. And ladies, I'm so excited. I'm grateful for you both. Thank you so much for sharing your stories. I wanted to open it up. If anybody had any questions for either one of these ladies, they're a wealth of knowledge. And if you're not utilizing them for three-way chats or three-way calls, you need to, because that's how I built my business. And I still do that every single day with them. So anybody have any questions? I see some things in the chat. I haven't been watching that. All right, well, if there's no questions, I want to just be so grateful and so thankful to everybody that showed up tonight. It is recorded. If some of your teammates missed it, I'll have the recording for you, and we'll see you here next week.